Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we're talking 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, the tell-all part 3. We're almost done with this tell-all. And y'all, it's been great, but I'm tired. I'm a little tired. It's been a really good tell-all, very interesting, this new format that they're doing. So I'm just gonna get on right into it. So last week we left off with Big Ed and Liz and Angela and Jovi and Andre confronting Ed about how he's speaking and how he treats Liz. And we left off with Angela like barging in on a heated argument with Ed and Jovi. And Angela comes in and just says, Ed, I'm really disappointed in you. And surprisingly, Angela didn't go off on him. You know, I think low key she kind of really likes Ed, so that's why she was really soft with him. But she said, "I'm disappointing you, Ed. If you love her, you give her space and you talk to her. You don't put her down or turn everything back on her like you do and everything." And you know, Ed starts crying. He's like, "You're right," and this, and that. So they all go to bed. And wake up. Liz is still upset because she really wants Ed to own up to him being on the Asian dating app and own up to confronting Rose, contacting Rose. So the next day we go to the tell-all. It's day 2 of the tell-all. And they decide Kimberly comes out, Ed comes out into the green room, and he apologizes to everybody, and then Kimberly throws her 2 cents in, saying that she's no punk, and like what he did was wrong and everything. And he got so defensive with Kimberly, saying that, Kimberly, you don't talk to me like that, or this and that. And Kimberly was just saying what he did wrong and stuff. And she was like, okay, so you're mad at me when everybody else is doing it to you? And she's like, and Ed's just like, everybody's coming at me, this, and that. I had 6 of you yesterday come at me yesterday and everything. And you don't talk to me like that and everything. And, Kimberly actually apologized, but, Ed just did not accept her apology. And I just think that Ed's just playing victim, like he always does. He does not take responsibility for his actions. And, this is why he gets a lot of hate. Like I said, I don't do the Big Ed hate on here, but I see why the other people do, because he won't accept any kind of responsibility. So that was Ed and Liz. So we go back to the tell-all. We start the tell-all, and we start with Kimberly and Usman. So Kimberly mentioned a couple weeks ago that her and Usman are not together, but she's still going to be super fan, this, and that, and they still talk every day, whatever. Now, in this episode, during their scene, they just talked about why they broke up, and Usman really wants a child and stuff. And he knew that when getting with Kimberly. And I thought they were supposed to be adopting Mahadi, Usman's brother's son. And nobody mentioned that. So, Usman was saying, and everybody was saying that Usman played Kimberly. They brought out Kimberly's son Jamal, and he just mentioned that Usman Luke, he played his mom. And I kind of agree. From the get-go, I really don't think Usman was really that much into Kimberly like Kimberly was into him. And it was unfortunate, but it was just the truth, because I think that Kimberly, she did a lot for Usman, and Usman did not reciprocate those feelings. And Usman made a disturbing comment saying that they were intimate and that he would never be intimate with somebody that he didn't love. And we were just like, oh my goodness, like that makes it any better. And did not make that any better. Usman, just likes to justify everything for himself to make himself look good. He knew, and a lot of people are saying, oh, Soldier Boy, he wants to promote his music, this, and that. No. Yeah. And that's what it came down to. Kimberly's all upset and crying. Usman's just yelling on the screen. I believe Liz told him to shut up at one point and everything. And then they mentioned the scene when Usman met with the potential second wife with that girl, Farid. And Kimberly now saw where he asked for her number and stuff, and when Usman said that if I wasn't with Kimberly, like, this girl would be the type of girl I would go after, and she was only 18. So yeah, and she had mentioned she wanted to be the first wife anyway and stuff. So it was just a whole mess between Usman and Kimberly and everybody. You know, Usman just same thing. He just likes to justify everything for himself, and yeah, it was just ridiculous. The next couple they talked to was Bilal and Shida. So we all know with Bilal and Shida, this whole season, they wanted to have a baby. Shida was so gun-ho about having a baby. And then during the tell-all, it was revealed that the roles got flip-flopped. That Bilal now wants to have a baby and Shida don't. And I think the reasoning behind it is because, like, in this tell-all, it was revealed that they don't have a joint bank account. And, you know, Bilal does not want to have a joint bank account. And, like, Shida feels that Bilal don't trust her, and they're married. You know, this ain't a girlfriend and boyfriend thing, that they are married. And Shida feels like Bilal don't trust her or anything. And so I think that's why the roles got flip-flopped during this tell-all. So we got to see, they brought out one of Bilal's friends that we never met. His name was Chris. And they also brought out Shida's friend Utris. Remember Utris from when they met up in New York and she confronted Bilal on his BS. So when they talked to Utris, they talked about when she said that maybe Shida should forget to take her birth control pills to try to sabotage, and, you know, everybody came after her. It's like, one, she ain't on birth control, and two, you don't tell that to somebody, because, you know, that will really ruin her marriage. Are you trying to ruin her marriage? Now, Bilal's friend Chris, like, you know, said that how can you tell somebody to do that when you don't even have kids yourself? And then Chris and Utris started going back and forth. It was entertaining. Excuse me. It was entertaining. Like, they were going back and forth, arguing back and forth. And Utris was like, you speak really carelessly. And Chris was like, no, I speak really directly and everything. And they just started, it was just funny how they were going back and forth. And everybody in the set was just like, maybe them two should get together. this night. Yeah, Chris and Utris. Because Utris is really opinionated. And she's looking out for Shida's best interest. But at the end of the day, it's her and Bilal's relationship, not hers. And she should not make those comments and stuff. But, you know, she sees past Bilal's, like, BS and everything. So yeah. So Bilal and Shida, they go back to the topic of having baby. Shida, you know, like, gave Bilal a 9-month ultimatum with it and everything. And they were just going back and forth with it. But then all of a sudden, Bilal pulls out this little onesie saying I'm cuter in New York or something. You should see my mom in New York or something. And he walks Shida to the middle of the set and proposes to her and says, will you have my baby? And she starts crying and says yes. And we were just like, well, what a complete flip-flop. I mean, them two be flip-flopping a lot, but, you know, I feel like from the two seasons, these two past seasons that we've seen Bilal and Shida, that they came a long way. And I was happy to actually see that. So, you know, they came a long way, and I'm happy for them. But, you know, I just hope that they continue to be happy, you know, because Bilal had mentioned, you know, every time they're in New York at the Brooklyn Bridge and stuff, he doesn't want to have a bad memory. And because every time they were in New York talking about it, and it just didn't go well, and now they filmed the tell-all in New York, so he wants to leave a good memory in New York. So yeah, that was Bilal and Shida. Who else did they? Next was Jenny and Sumit. So Jenny and Sumit, you know, we all know their story. They got married. Sumit's parents don't approve because of the age difference. And, you know, Jenny wants to now come back to America. Sumit doesn't want to come. We all know the story. Prior to that, they go backstage before we did Jenny and Submit's scenes, we go backstage, and then like everybody's still confronting Ed and Liz, and like Liz found the dating profile that he was on and said it was active 2 hours ago, and 2 hours ago was when they're supposed to be at the tell-all. So Ed claiming it's not him, but I don't believe that for one bit. I believe it is him and everything. And, you know, everybody's like confronting Ed, and Jenny says, you know, your relationship is weird. And then Ed and Jenny get into it. Ed was just like, well, Jenny, so is yours. Come on. And then he starts insulting Jenny and stuff. And then him and Jenny just go back and forth. It's just like, Ed's just getting into it with everybody. You know, what I realized with Ed is that he goes after all the females. He goes after all the females and confronts them, but he's scared of the males. He's scared to be confronted by the males, but he confronts all the females and likes to go toe to toe with them. That's what I noticed with Big Ed. So you know, Jenny said it's weird. Ed didn't like that, so him and Jenny start going back and forth, which was ridiculous. So then we go back to the set, and then they finally do Jenny and Submit scenes. So this episode, in this part of the tell-all, they brought out Submit's father and Submit's brother and Submit's sister-in-law. The mom is still not showing up, and the mom still don't want nothing to do with it and everything. And finally, Submit's father and brother and sister-in-law finally approve and bless their marriage. They said it's their happiness. They already got married. There's nothing we could do. We accept. Now, Sean, the host, asked, like, is Jenny going to be invited to family functions? And they still like, no, because of the mother. And because since the mother's not going to approve, you know, we just don't want no tension there. And you know what? Elizabeth had mentioned in this tell-all, you know what, but I would understand that if Jenny was there causing trouble, but she's not causing trouble. You know, people in my family cause trouble. And so, like, I don't understand why she's not invited to, like, family functions over with Submit. And, you know, and I think, like, you know, I think Ed and Liz had mentioned, like, said the same thing, like, you know, yeah, if I can't bring my fiance or wife, I'm not coming at all. But I think Jenny was just so stressed over trying to get the blessing that she'll take any small victory that she can. So she's happy that Submit's father and brother and them accepted the marriage. She's all excited. Submit's all excited. You know, we still got to work on the mom. You know, the mom is just not going to be accepting of it. And, you know, it's fine. It's at this point, it's 3 against 1. I know that, and the Indian culture, it's the mother and the head. But, you know, at this point, it's 3-1. It's their happiness. And right now, I feel like Jenny and Submit, despite those troubles, they are the best couple on the season of Happily Ever After. You know, I'm going to do my rankings here in a minute on who I think is the best, from the best couple to the least. So, yeah, so Jenny and Submit, you know, Jenny has not, Sean asked, are you going to start on Submit's visa paperwork? She said she's going to get started on it. I don't know when, but she'll go back to India, be with him for a little bit once Submit said he wants to come here for a visit, not permanently live here. And like Jenny said, she'll take the small victories. So I'm actually kind of happy for Jenny and Submit. You know, they came a long way too. They've been together for 10, 11 years. And it's just, you know, and the main question was asked, what I have from last year at the tell-all from season 3 of The Other Way. Last season on The Other Way, the last tell-all that Jenny and Submit were in, they brought the family in, and they were supposed to tell them at the tell-all that they got married, and then Submit backed out of it, and everybody's just like, dang, Submit, you're on a ticking time bomb, my friend. So Submit backed out of it, and Sean asked them, like, what y'all think at the last tell-all? And we all knew that they were married, and what y'all think? And Submit's sister-in-law, Cherise, said, you know, that did hurt, you know, that did put like a little wrench. But, you know, at this point, you know, there's nothing that we could do. You know, they already got married, and that was that. So yeah, I mean that's like basically all that went down in this tell-all. We left off with the cliffhanger with, I guess, like it was storming here there in Nigeria where Usman and Michael at it was revealed that Usman and Michael are actually at the same hotel filming the tell-all in Nigeria. And Sean asked Angela, can Usman and Michael hang out tonight? And Angela's like, nope, nope, nope. You know, I got too much going on. Too much going on. I do not want, and you know, we all know Angela don't like Usman. And so she was like, I don't want him with them. You know, we got too much going on, and that's that. You know, Usman was fired up and it's like, why can't I hang out with my brother? Rah, 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 rah. You're so mean. Rah, 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 rah. And then like Michael got up and went on to the other side of the hotel where Usman was at to go confront Usman, and that's where we left off with the cliffhanger. And so I'm kind of curious to see how that conversation with Usman and Michael in person goes, but it was kind of funny how it left off. So yeah, guys, not much went down in this part 3 of the tell-all. We still got one more part of the tell-all to do. One more part. We still got to do Jovi and Yara's scene. We still got to see who is really happily ever after this, and that. And here's my opinion. I'm going to rank these 7 couples like this. I'm going to rank it number 1, Jenny and Cement. They're number 1. Number 2, Bilal and Shida. Number 3, believe it or not, Elizabeth and Andre. As a couple, you know, Elizabeth and Andre are a really good couple as a couple, you know, despite their issues. Number 4, I'm gonna have to say, I hate to admit it, but I'm gonna have to make it Jovi and Yara. Yeah, Jovi and Yara. And then we all know who the bottom 3 couples are. Next couple I will put on the list is this is tough between Angela, Michael, Kimberly and Usman, and Ed and Liz. Like it's those 3 couples is, you know, I would have to say after Jovi and Yara, I would have to give it to Kimberly and Usman, even though they broke up. Then I would say Angela and Michael, and then I would end it with Big Ed and Liz. That's my ranking for the happily ever after couples, really. Because, yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. The show is called Happily Ever After. I know they put a question mark on it, but the show is called Happily Ever After. We need the happily ever after couples on the show, not the couples who are borderlining breaking up, you know. Not the couples who threaten divorce every week. Not the couples that fight constantly every week. Happily ever after couples, like, who are actually happy. Like, if you go back to previous 90 Dayers, I want to see, like, okay, Lauren and Alexi, David and Annie, you know, in the beginning, when they were on Happily Ever After, it wasn't all peaches and roses like it is now, but they're after the 90-day journeys. You know, they're a happy couple. And speaking of which, I do want to give an update on what's going on in the After the 90-Day show with David and Annie and Lauren and Alexi. So David and Annie, David has become a monk. He had to go through 3 days of being in this temple barefoot and wearing this like robe thing, and had to like walk out on the street barefoot to try to get to collect the food donations and everything. And he had to fast and everything, and he went through it. He's trying so hard to get the blessing so he could try to get those kids to America. And Lauren and Lexi, they're in Israel. You know, Lauren's parents have been interfering in their relationship a lot, and Lauren's parents do not approve of the move to Israel. And in the past episode, Lauren's parents really got really rude. We're telling them to shut up, and Lauren's mother and Lauren got into it, and Lauren's mom said that if you weren't pregnant and there wasn't a lot of cameras around, I would slap you and stuff. And she was like, I don't care if you're grown, then you don't speak to me like that. So yeah, that's what's going on in David and Annie, Lauren and Alexi. I really hope in the end result, David and Annie, they get those kids to America, and Lauren and Alexi, you know, happy baby, and figure out their moves. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe I'll see you back on Wednesday and Thursday to do Married at First Sight, and we got one more part of the tell-all next week, so be tuned to watch that video. And once again, guys, I love you guys so much. Keep on watching these videos. I'm gonna keep doing more. I got a lot more shows I'm gonna plan on doing. I'm gonna be doing on Paramount Plus, Are You the One? And I'm still thinking about doing X on the Beach. The new season's coming out pretty soon, so we'll see. But anyway, guys, have a great day.